Right, jumping right on into the video here. We are using the p.louise primer just to get those eyes properly primed out here. And I'm gonna be using the p.louise palette as well, the first one that they did. I haven't played with it recently, so I just thought I'd whack it out and do something with it. So I decided to kind of go for a kind of winged out cut creasy kind of thing. But yeah, this is kind of the steps that I took to do it. So as you can see, I've just kind of got like a bit of a winged liner brush, I suppose. This one's just from Beauty Bay. And just kind of mapping out where I want that kind of cut crease to go. So the inner part, the actual lid space is going to be completely like blank. Most of the shading and blending out is going to go kind of from that wing kind of outwards. That's kind of the plan. I'm terrible at describing what's going on here. It's just a very difficult, because I don't actually know what it's called, so it's very difficult for me to try to explain. But I'm hoping if you can see what I'm doing, then you get what I'm doing, But anywho, I really like the p.louise mattes for this. This is just like their matte palette. I haven't tried their other palettes. I think they've got more of like a bluey, greeny, yellowy kind of palette, but I haven't tried it. But I'm sure it's just as good. But this one's kind of my kind of tones. I do like oranges and pinkies and reds and purplies. Like those are like my tones, tones that I really like. And yeah, they really blended out quite nicely and not patchy. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with these. But yeah, just kind of trying to do something a little bit different, something that I'm not like I don't do on a everyday. So yeah, anyway. But yeah, you can pretty much just see what I'm doing. I don't know if I need to really narrate what I'm doing. I won't be very good at it anyway. But yeah. And I'm quite excited for my next video. I just ordered the Sample Beauty single shadows. Really excited to get those out. If you've seen my IG stories, you know that I've just bought a few. And I also bought, was it like their liquid eyeshadow? Is that what it's called? Like, I'm not 100% sure what it's called. But anyway, yeah, really looking forward to trying to use those. It really gave me like old school vibes when like Makeup Geek first brought out their single shadows and everyone kind of went a bit crazy over them. I feel like that's going to be the same with Sample Beauty eyeshadows, because I've swatched a few. I didn't want to swatch all of them because, I wanted to wait for the video to fully appreciate them. But the ones that you couldn't help but touch, I kind of touched. So yeah, just did a little swatcheroo. And yeah, so far, like, they're kind of like really nice, and I'd like to try to do a look with them, so that'd be exciting. So yeah, keep an eye on this channel, keep an eye on my Instagram, and hopefully it'll be out soon. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, I'm just kind of blending out these shadows. I do go through the eyeshadows twice. As always, I always do this just because when you first pack on the first layer of eyeshadows during the blending process, they do tend to obviously blend away. That's just very kind of normal, can't really help that. So it's just, I just find it's easier to always just pack another load on. And it's easier, obviously, it's still easy to blend away, but you still kind of got a bit more pigment behind you there. So yeah. But anyway, as you can see, that yellow, I really like this yellow in this palette. It's like the perfect yellow. It's not too kind of dusty pastel looking. It's not too mustard looking. It's like the perfect yellow. So I can definitely look. That's why I forget about this palette, honestly. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's so bulky. It's kind of at the bottom of my drawer just because of the size of it and how I store it. So I tend to forget about it. But honestly, it is a good palette. Obviously, if you're not into like pinks and purples and oranges and reds, maybe not your cup of tea. But But I definitely like these kind of tones. They're definitely for me. But yeah, I feel so bad forgetting about it, honestly. Oops. Yeah, but as you can see, yeah, I'm just going through all the shades again, you know, just doing it all again. No bother there. Same process goes for pretty much any look that I do, to be honest. Just to kind of deepen it up and make sure it's still very eye-catching, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of what I like to do. But yeah, I did like doing this look. I do feel like I still need to practice these kind of shapes a bit more. But you know, it's still kind of a work in progress, I guess you could say. Just practice makes perfect. And you know, I think I've only done like a handful of these kind of cut creases. Honestly, I don't think I've done them that many times. So yeah, definitely need a bit more practice. But you know, it's kind of one of those kind of perfectionist things about me. I think like if you know, I'm a bit kind of ooh, if it doesn't look perfect, like if it doesn't look right. So yeah, I just need to keep on practicing. You know, like everyone, I guess. Um, yeah. Oh, I did have my eye on that Mama Mitchell palette. The one with the more of like the blues in it. I have had my eye on that. It's like 40 quid though. Like I'm like, oh, do I? Don't I? Do I just? I don't know. I might just wait for my birthday, honestly, and treat myself for my birthday. I'm thinking about it. I'm more kind of leaning towards the bluey palette. The like it's got like blues and yellows and corals, rather than the other palette, which has got like browns and greens and I don't know what the colours it's got, to be honest. But yeah, I'm kind of hinting more towards like the blue colours, the bluey palette. I can't remember what it's called. Both of them have like different names, obviously. But yeah, might have to treat myself for my birthday. I reckon that's gonna come around shortly. I think. Oh yeah, you can see me obviously cutting out this crease. I wiped away it with a wet wipe, and then just kind of applying concealer. I'm actually applying concealer, not p.louise base. And my reason for that is that basically I use concealer and then I use normal face setting powder. And I know that I crease on my lid like terribly, terribly bad. So I was thinking, what if I do it with like a thin layer of concealer and see how that goes? And I actually didn't crease. Like the smidgiest, teeniest little crease that you ever did see probably ended up on my lid. And that was it. Other than that, like if I did use p.louise, like, okay, don't get me wrong, I love the p.louise base, but if you want it for a cut crease where it's like matte, and if you've got super creasy lids like I do, I don't think it's the best, just because it is a thick product. Like the p.louise bases are thick, and the reason that they're thick is so when you apply eyeshadows, they are very, very pigment. But obviously for this, on the lid, I'm not applying eyeshadow onto it, so I didn't need to, you know what I mean? So I understand why they do crease. Like, it's just kind of come to me, you know, that it's not meant to go on your lid and like set, because that's not what it's made for. It's made for pigmentation. So I did just use some concealer and my lids didn't crease, well, like very hardly creased, which is like a godsend to me, honestly, because sometimes I'm just a creasy mess. And I tell you what, the other eyeshadows that don't crease on me is the Vive palette from Jamie Genevieve. The shimmers don't crease on me, which is weird because a lot of shimmers do crease on me. And the matte skin tone, well, my skin tone color in there, like the matte like whitish color, that actually prevents me creasing, which it's kind of like my go-to kind of setting powder now, to be honest, if I'm just doing like a very easy like gotta get out of the house kind of look. So just a word there for you. And I just applied like a mini wing liner with a bit of Midnight Cowboy glitter from Urban Decay. I just thought it needed a little bit of glitter, you know, nothing too much, because I was like, I didn't want anything too glittery, but I just needed a little bit of something. So as you can see, like when my eyes kind of move, the light kind of hits the sparkles. And I thought that was, you know, the perfect amount of glitter. The perfect amount. So yeah, I did my little winged liner, nothing too dramatic. I just wanted it to quite easily blend with each other, so when I apply my false lashes, it kind of looked like it was supposed to be there, kind of thing, just looked right. But yeah, moving on to the lower lashes, just pretty much applying the same colours in the same order, pretty much, and then just really smoking it out. As you can see in my inner part of my eye, I kind of ended up doing like a sort of angled shape, if I guess you could say. So yeah, as I've smoked out the lower lash line, I haven't brought it all the way in to my inner corner. I kind of left a bit of a gap so it looks a bit like an angled shape, I guess you can say. See, I'm terrible at describing these things. That's why I don't really talk about them. But yeah, hopefully you can see. I mean, I hope the video. I know I'm sometimes not very good at videoing myself. Sometimes I'm like, I've only got my forehead in the image, you know, which is no good at all. Something I need to practice on. But yeah, then I'm just going to use that amazing yellow shade and really drag it out towards my temples, because you guys know that I really like to do that. And then using the unicorn lashes, lash of the day. These have suddenly become my like everyday lashes. They're just the perfect amount of natural versus dramatic. You know, I don't know how they've done it. They just done it. That was the palette that I meant, the Vive palette, and I just kind of used the shimmery shade, the lighter shimmery shade, to kind of do the inner corners and the brow bone, because obviously there was no shimmer shades in the p.louise palette. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Leave a comment down below of what you thought of it. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. And also, feel free and subscribe. And if you want to follow me on IG, my IG is lacy.makeup. Feel free and give us a follow. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!